All right, hello, we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Chris from the Great Brick Lab, and we're live on a Friday. Today, we are going to go over some changes that we made in our store, and I'm sorry for not being live last night. Took a break, so I bet everybody kind of knows what it's like to need a break from now and then. Two things I want to go over today. I mean, they get my notes up here. I definitely want to show the changes we made. While they're simple, they were very impactful to the store. I also have somebody picking, so you're gonna get a different view of somebody doing an actual pick of parts while it's happening. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on Bricklink my strategy for filling in empty parts or missing parts from Minifig on using wanted lists from Bricklink. And I think that's it. Unless something else comes up in the chat, that's what we're going to cover for today. So let's see, who do we got on the chat right now? Take a quick look here. Bettina, aka Used Bricks. Hello, thank you for joining the chat. All right, or the stream. Okay, so let's do a quick tour of the store first, and then I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you from the beginning of our store. So as many of you know, our store is based up on a setup to pick parts from side to side. Okay, so this is our first row of picking. This is a new part column, and all the way down to about 2/3 or maybe even 3/4 of the way down of this first row is all new parts. And then you pick from here. This is number 1, and it goes down to number 133. Then 134 jumps down to 225, 226, and then it goes down to 398. Then you jump over to the other side. So the reason for that is that we have a pick cart. These aisles were designed very specifically for a 30-inch picking cart. I got it at auction, but you can still buy these at Sam's Club. I try and buy everything as cheap as I can, and well, I got an entire storage locker for $300 and sold almost everything in that locker for near $900 plus dollars. I don't even know how much I got, but then so the cart ended up being for free. And that's what got us started on using a cart. And it picks sideways, not long ways, but it goes sideways through the aisles so that you can pick parts. And as a matter of fact, we have somebody picking parts. Say hey, Kyle.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. So Kyle's got the cart, and you can see the cart is, well, let me go to the other side and we'll get a better view of that cart. And so he started picking a couple of quick lots, a couple of orders that we received today, and we made a pick sheet, and we got him picking on those parts. So let's take a look at the cart here. So here's the cart, 30 inches from side to side. Normally this cart has a handle. We took the handle and we just kind of inverted it, and so this cart fits perfectly between the rows, 30 inches from side to side. And that way, and that cart is being pushed through longwise, just kind of push it on through and pick your parts. Happens to be a second pick for today. We finished the first pick, got a couple of orders, we're still hanging out, and said, why not pick a couple of orders? And one of them was significantly large. Ryan A, hello, thank you for joining the stream. Bricks for Miles, hello, what a great name that is. Thanks for joining the stream. And Just a Brick in a Bucket, hey Evan and Paul, thank you so much for joining my stream. Okay, now, so I believe that's enough details. If you have a question about the picking rows, let me know. The organization works because of the way we have our remarks field set in Bricklink Brickowl. Those remarks fields are organized on a pick sheet, which we build inside of brick stock that we can then follow through the store. Okay, very sequential store. What we have is essentially a horseshoe shaped store. And when I built this originally, I used this center section here for what I call the cubicle area here. And let me give you the maximum view here. So this was the cubicle area. This desk here, it made sense to me at the time, but I had that desk turned out and it was out this way, and it was 4 shelving units stuffed back inside of that area there. And with COVID, I had to hire individuals to help, Kyle being one of those. Steve is the other guy, and they come in and they do a regular amount of picking. And with the three of us down here in this, what, maybe 200 plus average square foot space, I don't really know exactly how it is, how big it is right now offhand. It's not very big. It's about the size of maybe a large bedroom, maybe even a smaller bedroom, depending on where you live. For us, this would be maybe a medium-sized bedroom. The area has to be maximized for space. When the three of us are working here, we were bumping into each other because literally there was like from right here to this cabinet right here, right where that camera's at, from like here to here, just about 30 inches of space, just enough for that cart. And I got this pole here that was, you know, in the way. It's holding up the house, can't move that. So Kyle suggested, and I was like, this is brilliant, right? So he suggested, why not take out one of the shelves, turn this desk in, move this over here, put those two shelves up against the wall, and make us like another, like a real horseshoe, a real operations center of horseshoe. My original thought was to maximize the amount of space for storage. And when we did that, it was absolutely brilliant. So basically we've made some improvements with that. So now the desk lays against that first row. So here's the desk, here's the first row. So right up against this wall here. He went ahead and created his shipping station, just enough bags to process for one day. The goal here isn't to have every bag that we have in our store in that spot. That's just enough for one day. And realistically, we only need to restock maybe once a week. But here's where we restock from. You got tape, you got bubble mailers. Just bought another shelf unit to make that work over there. We got all types of stuff. This is miscellaneous inventory here. Sometimes we have lost inventory drop here, but down on the bottom, all types of bubble mailers, you know, paper. This is a restocking area. All of our bags, the 2 mil bags for, you know, minifigs or parts or whatever, it's all stored back inside there. So that's what this is. All right. So this is the computers up here. You got your workstation here. I built this shelf from used parts from one of our local hardware type thrift stores. It's called QC Restore. So I built that. These shelving units cost me 50 cents each. And then this bolt right here, I had this sitting around in my garage. I basically took some bolts and put bolts here on the bottom, bolts here on the top, and kind of, I don't know, just built a little shelf. We build boxes out of Lego because we have Lego all over the place. That box is the perfect size to slide right in there. We built these pen holders out of Lego. Okay, here's another Lego box, just holding stuff right there. This is my printer that I broke. I was messing around with this printer. It had a little stopper right here so that when the paper comes out, it stops. And I was goofing. I don't know what I was doing. I broke it, ripped it right off. So replaced it with some Lego pieces so the paper doesn't fall off the stopper there. I use Lego everywhere I can. Lego's like the main thing we have, and I can't sell everything. We buy used parts, so we're using it. Kyle brought in a mini fridge. He said he wanted to have some cool soda while he was working, and I was like, whatever you want, dude, this is your space. You can own it. Here's a drawer that I added to my desk. The desk here we got for $1. Picked that up at an auction, and then I added these 2x4s to raise it up to a countertop height desk. Here's the drawer that we added. That drawer I think was $3, same QC Restore. I attached it on the back, on the corners here. And in the back there, you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but I used Lego to help get it attached and kind of hold it up. And then here's another cart that we use if we have two people working on the picks. There's a shelf underneath here, a hidden shelf underneath there. Now you all know. So let's see, this is stereo. Funny thing about this stereo, I bought this over 20 years ago, and it's been through multiple members of my family. It's been broken once, fixed, and it still works. It's an old Onkyo stereo, and I bought this with money that I made detasseling corn when I was probably 15 years old. So that's 30 years ago. Okay, so moving on. Made this little wire rack. I love those wire rack things, those little cubicle wire racks, but sometimes I want more, so I added some in the middle there, and it's a little paper shelf holder. This is a new shelf that we just recently picked up because of the organization here. It's I put some LED lights on it that are lit up right here, but they're not quite bright enough. to cast all the way down to the table length. So I think I'm going to take this off. I don't know if we need light there. I like a lot of bright light. The bright white LED lights are what we have in the ceiling here. And I have a hard time seeing the color variation between light gray and light bluish gray most significantly. Brown and reddish brown, I can sometimes struggle with that. Not so much dark gray and dark bluish gray do I struggle with those these days. And I struggle with those colors. So the bright white LED lights bring the most variation or the most difference for my eyes in those colors. So I filled the entire store with those bright white lights. So as you can see, we've got a lot of space left, a lot of empty space, because we pulled out a lot of the miscellaneous things that were just in here that didn't really have a purpose for being in this space. Okay, these bags here are from this box right here of some processed Lego that we've got. So this is basically stuff that's ready to go in the store, but it's not for sale quite yet. Okay, so that is covering what we did to remodel our space, and it's just wonderful. The three of us can sit in here and we're not bumping into each other. Earlier today, Steve was doing a pick, so he's around the outside. He's around the outside of the horseshoe. Kyle was here at the desk, and he's walking around the store putting parts away. So we're picking and adding parts at the same time with 2 employees. Plus, I had a little bit of time in a different area of the house to process and catalog Minifig. I have a Minifig creation station where I typically do my lives from, and I'm sitting there creating Brickstock files to add inventory to the store of Minifig parts, because they take just a little bit more time for processing. Sometimes you have to assemble them, make decisions, pull off arms, replace them with good arms, various things like that. That's what I was doing earlier today. And as a matter of fact, we've become so efficient at picking and putting away parts. I was getting requests for more bags from down here while I was making them. That's a new experience for me. Normally, I'm doing this by myself. I can create, 10 different bags of minifig parts. They're sandwich-sized bags. Let me show you one of the bags. For minifig parts, because there's so much variety and they're so valuable, this is a little Ziploc bag of minifig parts put together. Send it down here, and they have it put away before I can even begin to even get halfway through another bag of them. All right. Okay, so sorry about that. Got disconnected there. Let me turn on the camera. Not that one. This one. Okay, so we are back. Sorry about that interruption. I am changing gears, and I'm going to show you something different now. Got a question from Just a Brick in the Bucket. Let's answer this question here. How many parts would you say you add a week to your store?
There's no normal.
Yeah, I wish Kyle's over there answering that question. He's like, we don't have a normal. We're very random.
It's going up though, I think.
It's definitely gone up since we have people picking and putting away parts at the same time. I could probably figure out what the numbers are based on how our counts have been going up, but even then, I think, was that yesterday or the day before, we sold every yellow 2x2 brick.
It was like 1,035.
Yeah, it was like 1,300 some odd bricks that were all purchased in one order. It's like a 5-pound order.
Like a 10-pound one right now, or not? It's a couple pounds. Maybe not.
Okay, so we have another large order with a whole bunch of. Is that the 2x4 brick order? Did he pay for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so another customer ordered 2x4 bricks. So we've been selling out a lot of bulk. We're selling a lot of parts in bulk amounts. All right, so how many do you call it akro-mils? Yes, these bins that are behind me, they're akro-mils. I have one over here on the bottom that's in red that is from Northern Tool. and that's called iron tin. About exactly the same size. The holes in the back lined up, so it fits almost exactly the same size, and it has 44, just like in akro-mils. How many do I have, and where the parts go? Okay, I don't know how many I have. So I can tell you, we numbered our columns. So I'm on my swivel chair, you like that? Okay, so we have 23 columns, 24, 25 in the used. So 25 times 3, that's 75 in the used, plus 1, let me count the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So about 30 in new and 75 in the used. I have an additional 50 of the akro-mils, larger ones. So which one can you see here? There's this size right down here. So let me show you. This size right here, I have an additional 50 of those in an off-site warehouse for our store expansion. We plan to go into a large space. I've got about, like I said, 200 square feet now. The space I plan to go to in 2 to 3 years, depending on finances, depending on how things grow. We are probably going to go to a 6,000 square foot space. I've got a place that's got a really good price. Okay, so that answers the question. Oh, and if I was to roughly guess, just a brick in a bucket asked the question, how many parts would we say we add a week to the store? If we're doing just minifig bags, it's pretty low, but the value of those parts in those minifig bags is pretty high. So if it was minifig bags, I'm going to say maybe like 200 or 300 a week. But if we're doing the other stuff, it can be anywhere from 1,000 to 2 to 3, maybe even 4,000, depending on the fewer orders we have, the more parts we add. The more orders we have, the more parts are moving out the door, and the fewer parts we have time to add. So it can vary by average, and we don't really set goals for how many parts we want to add per week or per month. Basically, we just pick up a box, say it's time to process this box, and put it in. Very, I can't say maybe more than maybe once or twice have I said target a specific part, get it in the store now, and put it up for sale. I just, I have Lego everywhere. I have Lego in maybe 4 or 5 different locations in my home, and it's just pick it up, inventory it, put it in the store, let it go for sale. It all sells eventually. Okay, now I need to set up.
Found a mega block.
Oh boy. So I just got word that there's a mega block inside of a used lot. When you're doing used, it's inevitable that you're going to find non-Lego, and sometimes the mega block or the off-brand, the color matches so close, and if you can't see it, if it's black especially, it's just hard to tell all the time. If you're working with a Lego or a non-Lego, sometimes it's just hard to tell. Okay, so that covers the chat questions. I am right now opening up, I'm working on getting a Bricklink page open. Alright, I need to zoom this back and I'll be ready in just a moment. Alright, so let's change our scene. I use OBS to make these videos, and I believe this one should work. Yeah, I don't like the way this looks here. Let me do...
Okay, I found a part that was in the X-bins when we eliminated them. The brown carrot club.
Alright, let me... I don't like that thing down there is not visible, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do much about it. It's just going to look unprofessional, but you can see me, and or maybe I can just do full screen on the pic. But let me get to the point of the content here. So what I do is I use these wanted lists that are provided by Bricklink, and the two primary that we're going to look at are minifig parts ordered and minifig parts needed. At my minifig creation station, every once in a while I'll come across a minifig that doesn't have all of its parts. And if I go to minifig parts needed, for example, this is a medium hips with black hips with medium lavender legs. Pretty rare part, okay? It's only come in one minifig, and the minifig is this Batman. The Batman is valued at an average price of $9-ish. I would probably price it at about $11 if I was to do that. And so it looks like I had every piece except for the legs. So I added that item. So I part out from if you click on here, let me go back to the minifig. So if I go to the minifig, I'm going to see the chat in case somebody chats with me. And I go to inventory, okay? Alright, so if I click on this part here, alright, so I've got this in inventory. What's it priced at? So I've got it priced at $6.50. I don't expect it to sell for $6.50. I'm just holding it in the store, okay? Got the helmet, okay? How much is the helmet priced at? I probably have multiples of the helmet, 90 cents, so that's not a very uncommon helmet. But the torso is going to be one of those more uncommon parts, and then the head. I believe I priced these parts like double the normal price for these, just holding them in the store for $4.50, okay? So you kind of get, they're available for sale. If somebody actually wanted to spend that much money on those, I would let it go because it's for sale. But I don't expect them to sell, okay? What I am doing is I'm hoping to be able to buy this. And I will make this list noting which minifig it's for. This is for my boy. He's doing Duplo, right? Okay, so these are just parts that I'm looking to get. Wampa, okay? I have a Wampa, and I'm only missing the right horn. For whatever reason, those horns are very expensive. But at some point in time, I'm going to need a part, antenna, this visor here, right? I may, one of two things may happen. I may find these parts in a bulk lot. Eventually it shows up, and then I would have to remember that it can be filled by in this pot. All right, so here's Pepper Pot's face. I just found this one today. I have the hair, I have the torso, and I have the legs. The legs are just white legs, but the hair is dark orange hair, and then the torso is coming my way. It's like a $9 minifig, and so what I'll do, okay, so let's hit buy all. Let's say today's focus is the Pepper Pot's head. If I go to wanted items, and don't go all the way down there. My focus is that Pepper Pot's head, which, did I scan over it? Where is that? Oh, it's the last one. Yeah, okay. So I put a little lock on there and hit apply. And then I say, all right, so now it stores. And so here, minimum buy, 1 cent, Germany. I'm going to stay focused on United States. Okay, so 4 stores have that head. Both of them have a minimum purchase. This one has the most, so it definitely has to have that one because of the lock. So it must have that part to qualify to show up in this list. And if I hit select here, there's the head for $2.75. Here's another part on my list for $2.25. That visor, $7. I'm hoping to find that on my own. But if I can't find it on my own, I may eventually buy it just to get, because I only do this for something I'm looking for a large lot of parts of, or if I happen to have everything from a bulk lot except for like one part, and I'd like to finish that minifig off. And it's sometimes fun to just be buying Lego from other stores, because every time I make a purchase, right, this is Space Western Bricks, okay? Where is Space Western Bricks? I like to buy from other stores from time to time to definitely support the community. He's based in Illinois, so I'm based in Illinois. And this is a way of supporting some other stores. This is also a way to see kind of how they're doing their packaging, interact with them a little bit. It's just a good way of staying, connected. Sometimes, if I have a order, recently I had an order for a brand new 1x8 dark tan tile. Went to go look in the drawer, not there. Looked all over my store. I couldn't even find a used 1x8 dark tan tile. So I had to order a dark tan 1x8 plate, rather, not a tile, but it was a plate. I had to order a plate. While I'm ordering that plate, I was like, all right, who's got the plate? And who also has parts from this list that I can fulfill, so I can kind of do two things at once. I can get the part ordered for the customer, tell the customer your order is going to be delayed a week or so, and then in addition to that, maybe find some parts to complete some minifigs. So just a brick in the bucket asked the question, so you purchased minifig parts on Bricklink to build those figs? Just some figs, yes. On these particular figs, if the fig is only worth $2 to $3, no, I'm not going to do it. But if the fig can be priced at like, you know, $8, $10, $15, $40 in some cases, I absolutely will buy these from this. All right. Hey, Just Bricks, thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Go back and watch the recording of this when it's done. Okay, so this is what I do. Now, here is the next thing that kind of becomes important. When I order these parts, I need to take them from the needed list and move them to the purchased list, okay? And I will also tell you that if you're going to do this process, it is really important that you make a note of the minifig. And if I've shown you guys before, let me grab a minifig. Is there a minifig in a drawer here somewhere?
Like the little ones here in the corner.
In the corner.
Maybe those big ones you'll find somewhere.
So what we do with our minifigs is I put a little sticky, or just a scrap piece of paper, it's torn up, to tell me the part number from, and now I gotta remember where I got that from. So, okay, and then so what I'll do is I'll put, for pepper pots, it was the torso, it was the hair, and the legs, go in a bag with the little piece of paper, so that later on I'll know that I can make a little collection of parts I bought on Bricklink, and then kind of match it up with that. So SH068 is that Pepper Potts minifig. Let's say that I've bought that minifig. I bought this, I believe also, if I remember, it was this here and this. But I think they only had one of those. I would probably just more likely just change the count on that down to 3, because I think that was it Space Western Bricks, I think is what it was. I only had one of those. Okay, so now with those 3 boxes checked, I take those and then I click on move, and just like you would expect, move it to minifig parts ordered. Now I'm not going to do that now, but if I hit move, it would tell me move them over to the other sheet. So then later, when we come back, let me go back to my want lists. And then, so now I have one part that's on the ordered list that I have that should be in my parts ordered box or bin, and then match that up with SW0691. And that's how I complete incomplete minifigs. And like I said, I don't do that for every minifig. I just do that for the most valuable minifigs. So there you go. We covered the tour. Covered. Oh, are you done with the pick? So.
Still got more over here.
All right, so we're going to go back to the other camera here. Let me get this thing connected and set up.
I've got 5 more lots, and 3 of them are pretty big.
So while I was doing this video, and I'm going to get this set up and make sure that my screens are working. Not easy doing all this by yourself. I wish a producer would show up and just give me all their free labor and work. All right, so we're going to switch cameras here in just a minute. But Kyle over here is just finishing up with the pick, and he's been picking parts while I've been talking. So this is not connected yet. Sometimes it takes a minute to get it all connected, and then we're going to wrap this stream up. So if you have any other questions, now is the time to ask.
Count 59, I count 89, and I count 120 here.
So we were short count on a few?
Well,
oh no, that's
these
what
are
you're saying.
coming up, but I was short on.
Let me show them the sheet since
Go
this
ahead
is
and
up.
take the.
That thing isn't connecting at all for whatever reason. Okay.
You want to take the front page?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the sheet that Kyle used to pick these orders, and today he's using paper because I got the laptop. But sometimes I use the laptop.
So on this sheet, you can see that. Where is that? Right. No, that's a little webcam, so it's not going to focus on that. But this is a blue. So he was short 7. He's over there. He's counting. He's got the scale on top here. Here's the scale that he used to count all those parts. And he's saying that it's short 200 parts. on a 2x4 blue brick. And he just made the note here on the sheet. Okay, so now this camera is connected. I can
Short
move.
7 at 200.
I said short 200.
Yeah.
That would just be.
They want 200.
They want 200 and they're short 7. That would be a complete nightmare if we couldn't find any of them. All right. Okay, so now we're switched. So now I can go mobile again, just like that. It's fun when stuff works. Great cap, Kyle. You got a compliment on your hat.
Oh, thank you.
From Bertina. And I think Bertina is somewhere in Europe, I think. Bertina, what country are you in? Okay.
I remember her on one of the other streams.
Yeah, she's been on multiple live streams. She's totally been on multiple lives. All right. I got a question from Renee last. What do you do with damaged and discolored parts you find in used bulk lots? You got a good question. I'm going to show you, okay? So you get a little bonus because of your cool question. We have a box over here called Troll. All right, Troll serves 2 purposes. First purpose, Troll is non-Lego. Anything that comes in that's non-Lego gets thrown in here. That went all the way down, right? Like through every little grate, all the way down to the bottom. Never going to be found until we move. All right, so this is a Troll, okay? This is a non-Lego. The color is good, but not quite dark purple, and it gets thrown in here, okay? This is Lego, but it's damaged and it's no good. So that is the Troll box. Typically, this is called Troll because it was inventory in the store and it got moved over to here because we need to get rid of it. We can't give that to a customer. It's no good. And so this is Troll. This is non-sellable Lego. Many of these boxes are made out of parts that we can't sell, but they're still good enough to build with. All right, and I'm going to walk to another area. Sometimes the Wi-Fi drops when I move to a different hub, but okay, so I'm taking that this means we're back. This is a sunroom that we have in our home. This container right here, this is hydrogen peroxide, and this sits in an open space here in our room. And this is this is all repaired part. This is the Technic built Stormtrooper, and if anybody who's worked with Lego for a while knows that that is a part that becomes extremely discolored. So here's one that's still got a little yellow to it. I don't know if you can see the coloring on that. Here's one that I just put in here about 2 or 3 hours ago. It's recovering. This one here on the sides, I don't think that one's going to recover. I think that one's completely and permanently damaged. But these are coming back, and it just sits in this sunroom. All of the stuff here has been repaired. This one here was severely damaged. These light gray ones were severely damaged. So they go from here for 2 to 3 days. Then they move to the soapy water and they just soak in there. I don't know, a week. I don't even care how really long it is. Eventually I get to them. And that's how we fix all our discolored Lego. I started doing this year. This container here was probably about 2 gallons originally of hydrogen peroxide that we bought we didn't buy it in the gallons. You can't buy it in a gallon, or else I don't know how to buy it in a gallon. But it keeps on getting reduced because it's evaporating. I added about 2 cups of water to get it to keep working, and it's been sitting out here for about 2 months like this. And I'll put parts in there, let it sit for as long as I feel like letting it sit, drop them over here. Keep in mind, I have damaged permanently some parts, some light
dark bluish gray ones got damaged doing that, and they ended up being sold for half the price that they would normally go for. All right, so we are going to head back. So, very good question. That's how we fix our parts.
So. A little bit short on all these 2x4 bricks, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
5, 4, 5. I mean.
Oh, just small amounts.
Yeah, nothing big.
Okay, so Denmark. Bertina's from Denmark. Okay, so I believe we're going to go ahead and cut the stream off at the end here. Thanks everybody who participated in the stream, and I hope that you enjoyed the content. I'm Chris from the Great Brick Lab. This is Kyle. And I want to thank everybody who subscribes to the channel. If you are not a subscriber to this channel, I would really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to this channel and give us some feedback, like this video, share our channel with a friend so that we can continue to grow. Again, this is Chris from the Great Brick Lab, signing off.